Hey, what's going on, y'all? This your boy, Lil C-Boz, and y'all watching C-Boz TV. And my apologies for being gone for this long time. Personal reasons and all this type of shit. And, having a kid does that to you. And having a family and all that. But that's here and there. I'm not talking about all this about. This is not what this is about. But anyway, this is about y'all. My response is to this dude by the name of Sport and Fitness Rants. He told me to explain myself about how great was Scottie Pippen and how some shit he would watch and shit like that. About basically, he's saying how yes, I agree that Michael Jordan never lost never lost 3 games in a row from 1991 through 1998. And to answer your question, why the reason he didn't lose? What's the reason why he did not lose those 3 years in a row from 1991 through 1998? And I tell you why he won those three in a row, 3 games in a row or some shit. For one, it's because of Horace Grant and fucking Scottie Pippen. John Paxson was still good, even though he was kind of washed up. He was still good. He the one that made that game-winning shot. And I believe Tony Kukoc was like joined later on. I mean, for him to disrespect me like that I'm a lost kid and shit like that, calling me a kid and shit like that. I ain't no kid, bro. I'm 26 years old, so for you to disrespect me like that, that's real fucked up on those comments. So you telling me, bro, let me ask you this, Sport and Fitness Rants. You telling me if he didn't, in those first 3 years of being with the Bulls, I'm talking about at the time, I know Michael Jordan was drafted in 1984, y'all. I'm talking about when he started winning. From 1991 to 1993, you mean to tell me he would win those 3 championships if he didn't have Scottie Pippen and fucking Horace Grant? I have to disagree on that. Michael Jordan would have never won those 3 championships with. I don't care what y'all Jordan fans believe. I don't see him winning them 3 championships if he didn't have Pippen and Horace Grant or John Paxson on the team, bro. Just not fucking happening. Pippen, he needed Pippen to win. He needed Horace Grant to win in those beginning of those 3 championships, yet alone. He retired in 94, 95. But before I get into them later years, from 96, 97, 98, when he won those other 3 peats, I'm gonna tell you how great Pippen was. First things first. Yes, Scottie Pippen wasn't that good in 88, between 88 and 89. Man, that nigga was not an all-star. He got drafted in 87. Yeah, he wasn't that good of a player yet in 88, 89. But still though, some players, once they get drafted and they've been in the league for 2 years, you don't really expect them to develop yet. You don't expect them to develop. Hold on, y'all. Gotta blow my nose. Shit. Back, y'all. You don't really expect, what I was gonna say is, you don't really expect the player. Not every player gets to be that great of a player once they've been in the league for 2 years, like Pippen was. Pippen didn't start to becoming that great until 1990 and 91. That's when he became an all-star, and around those times and shit like that. But how great was Pippen? I mean, he was solid. Was he a great scorer? Not so much, but he was a good defensive player he had the defensive abilities and all this type of shit. He could dunk real good on your ass and this and that and the third. He could rebound, but not so much of a scorer and shit like that. Basically, he was like an all-around player like LeBron James in a sense, but better than LeBron. And yes, he is my... If I grew up in the 90s, he would have been my favorite player. Him and Dennis Rodman. Jordan, not so much. Even though I appreciate what he did as a player in this and that and the third, but as a human being, he's not good. He's not that great of a human being. And he can't be my favorite player. So my thing is, why y'all Jordan fans are so fucking delusional, thinking that he will win those championships. This is my problem I have with y'all Jordan fans. Y'all always think that he didn't have help. He won those 6 championships by himself. Yeah, he was dope, but he's the greatest. Yeah, I won't even discredit. I won't even deny that he's the greatest player of all times. But for y'all to think that he did all that shit by himself, it's just not happening. He didn't. You had Dennis Rodman. You had fucking Horace Grant. You had Scottie Pippen. You had John Paxson. I give him a pass on the 80s and shit like that. One, though, I think when Pippen came in the league, y'all said he was hurt. He was injured. Okay, I give y'all that. He had something with his foot or some shit. His feet or some shit. Injury or some shit. I give y'all that. But he still wasn't winning shit in the 80s. He wasn't winning shit. He was struggling to get past the first round, the second round. And y'all expecting Pippen to come in the league to help out Jordan that quick. Is that what y'all telling me? Y'all telling me y'all expecting him to come in the league to be this polished up player for him to be he was a second fielder to Jordan. Y'all expecting him to come out the game, him to start winning shit and be a duo in the 80s when clearly he was only in the league for 2 years. Players cannot become championships contenders like that. Yeah, Kobe did this and that. Kobe became 6th of the year when he came in the league and all, but that's Kobe. We ain't talking about Kobe. We talking about Pippen. We talking about Scottie Pippen. The dude that y'all call overrated. The nigga that y'all said y'all don't give no credit, no thanks to, that don't give him no flowers and shit. Straight up call him bitter and a hater. I have an issue with that. I feel like Scottie Pippen had every right to feel how the way he fucking feel. Jordan, yeah. That Last Dance shit was all about Michael Jordan, ego statistic type shit. It was all about his ego, all about him and shit. How he's his greatest player and all, how he this and that. When clearly he had Pippen and Horace Grant and Dennis Rodman on his fucking team. And it's just crazy how it's just fucked up how these Jordan fans are so delusional and fucked up in the head. I have a problem with them saying that he did all this shit by himself. Oh, and put Coach Phil Jackson. Give this dude his flowers, his credit. Without even Coach Phil Jackson, they not winning 6 championships. They might win a couple of rings. Like 2. But I don't see them winning 6 rings without fucking Phil Jackson. See, this is also, you could tell how great Phil Jackson, aka the Zen Master, how great of a coach he is. He didn't give a fuck by telling Jordan that you should stop being a ball hog. You should like be a team player and all this. You should like stop shoot less with the ball and all this. And it worked. They won 6 championships. It actually fucking worked. We don't see. Go watch Jordan in the '80s and all that type of shit with Coach Doug Collins. He was a fucking ball hog. He didn't even try to like tell those teammates, even though they was some straight bombs and some drug addicts on coke and shit like that. But you gotta understand that was the '80s. Motherfuckers, everybody in the '80s was doing coke and shit like that. So you gotta understand that he could at least gone to the front office, trade them, get rid of those players that was doing coke, and then take practice that serious and get him some good players for him to win a championship. That's what I would have done. I would have complained to the front office or told them like get their shit together and shit like that. I came here to win, and this, that, and the third, and that's it. Michael Jordan did not came into the league, started winning championships. He just didn't. He just was a fucking ball hog, a stat pattern. Y'all call LeBron, Russell Westbrook, and all these motherfuckers stat pattern, but what was Michael Jordan in the '80s? What was him like in the '80s? A stat pattern. But how great was Scottie Pippen? I mean, he was good. He was dope. He was solid. He almost won a ring without fucking Jordan. But at the end of the fucking day, they both needed each other. And y'all should respect that, and y'all should agree that they needed each other. One person couldn't win without the other person couldn't win without the next motherfucker. So Jordan needed Pippen, Pippen needed Jordan. That's just that, bruh. Dennis Rodman already won a champion with the Bad Boy Pistons back in the late '80s. But that's here and there. But at the end of the fucking day, y'all, they needed each other. Even though Pippen was this close when he was with the Trailblazers, he almost was this close to winning a championship without Jordan. But I do have some issues with Scottie Pippen as a player. For one thing is he kind of was the type of motherfucker that complained. I didn't like the idea how he was dissing Phil Jackson in his book. That's the only problem I had when I'm saying that Phil Jackson was a racist and this and that when he wasn't. And don't you know that if it wasn't Phil Jackson pimping, you wouldn't been this great of a player. You wouldn't have 6 rings neither. So that's my thing. So about that situation with Scottie Pippen. Now, if Michael Jordan was also so great, why did he retire in '94 and '95? I wouldn't even see him beating those Houston Rockets in '94 and '95. I don't see it, bro. '95 showed me. Yeah, he only played like 15 or 20 games, I think. He only played short amount of the games when he came back. Came back as Jersey 45 and shit. '95 in that playoffs, it's against the Orlando Magic. That showed me that Jordan was not going to win in '94 or '95. Mainly '95, because you lost to the Orlando Magic. Penny Hardaway, and fucking Shaq's team, Nick Anderson, Nick the Quick, Dennis Scott team. That showed me that he couldn't win. He not gonna win. Yeah, Pippen didn't fucking win without Jordan. He was this close to winning in '94, but he lost. He came up short with the Knicks. I don't know what fucking happened, but apparently, Sally just came up short against the Knicks. So that tells me that, okay, Jordan comes back in 95 against the Orlando Magic, right? He loses to them. He loses to Horace. Oh, and Horace Grant was with the Orlando Magic, a former Bulls player at that time. I just didn't see them. That even goes to show you. That even goes to show you that they didn't even have Horace Grant. Even without fucking Horace Grant, don't see if Jordan played that full season in '95 against the Orlando Magic. They was just not winning shit. I don't see them winning at all. That just showed me right there when they lost, when Jordan came back. That just showed me that they lost against Horace Grant, Dennis Scott, Nick Anderson, aka Nick the Quick, Penny Hardaway, and Shaq. But y'all know that sadly Orlando got swept against the Rockets in the finals. But that's also here and there. But even if that 95 series, even if they did beat the Orlando Magic, they still had to deal with the Rockets that just came off a championship prior to that in '94 against the Knicks. I don't even see them beating the Rockets because they was just on some other shit. They was on a whole nother level type shit. I don't see the Chicago Bulls beating beating the Houston Rockets. So if you ask me, he would have been like 6-2 in the finals. Well, 6-1 because in '94, Jordan didn't play, so he would have been like really 6-1. So that's my thing. That's my take on this whole, to answer your question like how great was Pippen was. He was dope. He was solid. I just wish he would have done better. I just wish his career would have would have been more impactful and more better. Like the way it turned out, I just wish he would have won some rings without Jordan, like he did, like Kobe did, like Kobe won without Shaq, just to prove motherfuckers wrong that he was that type of motherfucker that nobody can say this about Pippen, that he needed Jordan. He needed fucking Jordan to win. Players like Pippen, Horace Grant, and fucking Dennis Rodman. Oh, and speaking of that '95 series, they needed fucking Dennis. They picked up Dennis Rodman. They needed Dennis fucking Rodman to win those 3 championships. Even Michael Jordan. Okay, this is how y'all Michael Jordan fans don't even know your own guy, your own nigga like that. Michael Jordan said to himself, came out his fucking mouth. He came out his mouth. He needed Pippen to win. He said that because they was gonna trade Pippen for Sean Kemp. And Jordan, what the fuck Jordan said? Jordan said he don't see himself winning shit with Sean Kemp. Even or without Pippen. If that trade would have fucking happened, Bulls are done. Chicago Bulls are done. They not winning no motherfucking championships without Pippen. So Pippen, Rodman, Horace Grant, those was the 3 players that was the main, and you could put John Paxson. Oh, and fucking Steve Kerr. They even got Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc. Jordan had some players that backed him up to win those championships. He didn't do it by himself. Stop acting like Jordan was that motherfucker. If you ask me, he overrated. He's an overrated player of all times. The overrated greatest players of all time. I can name plenty of players that is better than Michael Jordan. I'm just not gonna say it right now until probably next video. But yeah, Scottie Pippen was dope. I just wish his career would have been more better than it turned out to be. And that Trailblazer squad, and I also didn't like the idea that he quit on the Houston Rockets like that and how he was a counselor to the Rockets. So yeah, man. At the end of the fucking day, I don't give a fuck. Pimpin needed Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan needed Pimpin. Enough said. And Jordan also needed Dennis Rodman to win those other last 3 championships. And this is how you know if Michael Jordan was so good, why he also didn't stay in '99 and shit. They could have won at least seven more rings, seven rings in 1999, but he chose to quit on the Chicago Bulls and retired again because of Jerry Krause. Phil Jackson was leaving. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to play with another coach. He didn't want to play without Coach Phil Jackson if Phil Jackson was to lead the Chicago Bulls. So this how you know if Jordan was so good, why he didn't want to play with another coach. You see what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say, man. If this video don't make sense, then I don't know what the fuck to tell y'all motherfuckers. And peace, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Pimpin needed, like I said, Scottie Pippen needed Jordan, and Jordan needed Pimpin, and Jordan needed Dennis Rodman. And in the beginning of those 3 championships, he needed fucking Horace Grant and Pimpin and Deuces.